Hey everyone, welcome back to Buick Outdoors. If you're new here, my name is Sheldon Marion, and today we're going to spend the day in the kitchen. We're going to be making some black bear pepperoni. So to start this off, guys, what I got here is roughly 8 pounds of black bear. That's just cut up into kind of 1-inch strips. They're a few inches long. And then 2 pounds of pork loin. Same thing, it's about a 1-inch strip, a couple inches long. And it's 8 pounds of meat and 2 pounds of pork, because you want to go for that roughly 80-20 kind of mixture. And I enjoy using pork loin instead of pork fat, just because there's a little bit more meat in it and a lot less fat. Once we have everything kind of portioned out like this, we can now move on to our grinder. We can start grinding everything up. And there we go. Just after a few minutes of grinding, we now have 10 pounds of meat that's ready for our seasoning. The seasoning package that we're using today here, it seasons 20 pounds of meat. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you a little trick on how to divide this up. One way that you could do it is if you just have like a small kitchen scale, you just weigh it by weight and then divide it by half. But for this stuff here, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to take out all the salt, the nitrates and all that stuff. I don't use that anyways. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to dump this whole thing into the measuring cup. I feel like here it says 350 mils, or was that 12 ounces? So here it's 12 ounces, 1.5 cups. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dump half of this back into the bag. And there we go. We have roughly half of it dumped back into the bag. So now this is what we're going to be using to season our meat. With this too, it says do all the grinding, and then you take this seasoning and you mix it with 1 quart or 1 liter of water. In our case, because we're only using half of 1 liter, 500 milliliters, which is 1 bottle of water. So we'll take this, simply put it into our measuring cup, and we'll mix it up. Now if it doesn't quite all fit like it might here right now, I also have this big bowl that we can kind of transfer it into. So maybe that's what we'll do right now. And we'll just kind of rinse out the bottom here so we can get all of our seasoning and spices in there. There we go. Now we can get this all mixed up. Okay, so now that we have that pretty well mixed, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our bowl of meat. We're going to grab this, and we're just going to simply just pour it on over top. Now this part here, if you want to wear gloves, you can. I don't. I just roll up the old sleeves and I get my hands in there. Basically, you want to mix it just so everything's all mixed up. One thing that we haven't done yet really is mixed all of our pork in with our bear meat. So by doing it this way, you're mixing the pork with the bear. You're also mixing all the spices in there together. One thing that some people do is they take the seasoning, and what they do is they run this through a coarse grind first. They take their seasoning, they put it into it, they mix it all up, and then they run it through a fine grind. With me, I don't like doing that because it just gums everything up and it takes so much longer. But this way here is what I tend to like the best. Other than the mixing part, you do get pretty messy and sloppy. And if you have a meat mixer, it makes this way easier. You just crank the handle and everything goes. But that's alright. We got our hands, get in here and just start mixing. So we've pulled our meat out of the fridge here, and I'm just going to take a wooden spoon and I'm just going to start spooning it into our sausage stuffer. Alrighty, so we got this right pretty well to the top. We have about a ½ inch gap, just enough room for the plate to go on there to start pushing down on it. One thing that should be mentioned is if you haven't made this before, right now would be the time that you cook a little bit of this up, just a small little patty of it, to make sure your seasoning mix is properly done. It's very easy to add more meat or to add more seasoning at this point instead of after everything's been stuffed into casings. So, a little tidbit of a hint there for you. Just make sure it actually tastes good before you 100% fully commit to this next step. There we go, we got that in. I'll start screwing this down. And on top here we have this little screw, and it starts to pop up as soon as you start to crank down on it. And that's just to relieve some of the air pressure that's in there. And basically what I'm doing here, I'm getting that first little bit out. Now that way our tube is for sure full of meat and not air. Then that way the chances of bursting your casing is quite a bit lower. Now you still run the chance of bursting your casing when you're stuffing it, but we'll deal with that if it happens. So basically we're going to open this up. On these here, some of them you have to read the instructions. Some of them say that you have to soak these in kind of lukewarm water. With this one, it says just unravel it and then put it on. So with these collagen casings here, I got one that's kind of unraveled on both ends for you. Just so you can see this end, they went ahead and they tied it. And on this end here, it's a little too small to actually fit onto your tube. So what you have to do is you kind of have to pull it open that little bit, and then we're able to put it onto your tube and then just slide it on. The problem with these is it's almost just like a general size almost. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put on as much as we can, which is about there, and then we'll just take scissors and we'll give that a cut. So we'll grab our scissors, cut it there. This excess, what we'll do with that, we'll take it, we'll set that to the side for right now. And basically what we're going to do is just start stuffing our sausage. So here we go. So now that it's going, we just want to kind of keep an even pressure. So here what I'm doing, I'm just kind of grabbing it like this, and that's controlling kind of like the feed speed. So as long as you just kind of let her go and it just kind of pushes itself out, once as you get to where there's just a couple inches left of casing, I like to stop it that way. That way you can stop it, pull it out, give her a twist, and you're able to tie up your ends. There we got one side done. We'll take that, we'll put it here, we'll grab our casing, put on another link. And again, Start going. Got down to the end there, we got just that about inch of casing left. And we have another nice little link of pepperoni. So at the end of your links here, I didn't leave quite enough casing there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch it and I'm just going to push some of this stuff out. Put that back into our bowl. Now it looks like a lot of casing that we're going to be kind of going through here. But in order to get a really nice tie in there, it's very, very hard with a real short tail. So all I do is I give her a couple of twists. Take this and just do a simple overhand kind of granny knot. Bring it down, now it's tied off. One more done. One thing you can do too is find where the middle is here. Give her a pinch and twist them over each other. Do that once or twice. Grab a link, twist her through. There you go. Now we're just going to keep repeating this process until we have all of our pepperoni links all done up here, and then I'll show you the finishing process. Alrighty you guys, so we have a whole pile of this pepperoni all done up here now. We have a bunch of these links all made up. Now basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting these in size to fit on our oven racks, and then that way we're able to finish this stuff off in the oven. Now with these links that you made, you can either use a knife and just go into the middle of that link and cut it, or simply use a pair of scissors. Again, middle of the link, take your scissors and cut it off. And you take this, you can lay it directly onto your oven racks. And then all these long tails, take your scissors, snip those off. Take these ones, put those down here, and we're just going to keep filling up our oven racks. You can finish this off in the smoker, but seeing how a lot of people don't have a smoker and they only have an oven, we're going to finish them off in the oven today. Well you guys, it's been roughly 2.5 hours here now that our pepperoni sticks has been in the oven. I don't know if you can hear the beeping or not, but my little Bradley smoker digital thermometer that's hooked into the side of one of the pepperonis, I set it to alarm at 160 Fahrenheit, which it's alarming now, and this is actually the third time that it's alarmed, because we pulled it out, put it into another one, let it come back up to temperature, pulled it out, put it into a third one, just to make sure that we are for sure 100% at 160 degrees Fahrenheit. With bear meat that carries trichinosis, the only way to kill it is to fully cook it. So this way I feel very confident now that we're able to pull this out, and trichinosis will be completely gone out of all the sticks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to pull out all our pepperoni sticks that are in the oven, and then we have a few more that are ready to go in. So now I'll finish those ones up, and we'll see you here once as I get these pepperoni sticks out. Alright, so we just pulled the first batch out of the oven here, and we're getting them ready to go. So we got Shelby just got home from work, so she's gonna try one, then I'm gonna try one.
I came home at the perfect time. Oh, they're spicy.
Yeah.
Very spicy. Delicious.
Alright, my turn. Yep. That is not too bad.
Not dry or anything. That's awesome.
Perfect. Now all we gotta do, vacuum wrap them up, get them into the fridge and into the freezer. And yeah, hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, hit the like button down in the bottom. Leave us a comment or two. Subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one.